and welcome to episode 49, possibly 50 of the Slow Crafting Podcast. My name's Nadine and I'm coming to you today from the northwest of England near Manchester. Now today's episode is slightly different because normally I am a bi-weekly podcast that sort of talks about slow fashion and incorporating that kind of ethos into all my crafting and spinning, sewing, crocheting, knitting activities. But today I'm bringing you craft room renovation on a budget and in a relatively sustainable way as well. So this is a slight sneak peek of how it all ends up, but the video will show you what it originally looked like through the different stages, talking through what timescale I worked to as well. So today is the 15th of February and I think started this beginning of January this year, so it's been slow for some but not so slow for others. Right, I shall play the rest of the footage from the beginning and then I'll come back and record another bit at the end that walks you through what all this is and where I've got everything stored now. Alright then, I'll speak to you soon. Okay, this is day one of the craft room transformation. This is what's supposed to be the craft room, but has storage for crafts just here and here and under the bed, but also houses the bed for making it into the spare bedroom. Ooh, school uniform storage and all the coats and all sorts of other gubbins, as well as all my kit and caboodle for the toddlers group that I run. So ideally the crafting storage would be sort of central and a lot tidier, so we are going to redo it this month and see if we can make it a usable and yet vaguely aesthetically pleasing space. Right, progress update on the great craft room rehash, refurb, general tidying up and making usable. Last time I showed you pictures, I think I just got it all emptied. We're now on the 21st of January, so it's been a good 2 weeks already that we've been working on it. And oh, sorry, tickly nose. Over the weekend I got the undercoat put on. We're using paint that we had randomly left over, so I think this undercoat was some cheap paint that we'd had for painting something in the old house, and the top coat that I'm in the process of putting on is this colour here. That was some paint that was left over in this house when we moved into it 3 years ago. Now it was called concrete, and the colour on the tin looked like it might be slightly more magnolia than the lilac that it's coming out. It's not the colour I would have chosen. I would have preferred it to stay this magnolia colour, but in the spirit of using what I have and not having endless amounts of paint get chucked out and go into landfill, we are having a strange mushroomy lilac room. Looking at the colour on it, I think it's the same colour that's on some of the walls in the dining room. I think there's one wall in the dining room that's a darker version of that colour, and then the other walls are that pale. But it's not concrete. My eyes concrete's grey, but Parma violet. Yes,
that's probably a more accurate description of how it looks at the moment. But I do have to say, I absolutely hate painting textured wallpaper. It's not a fun pastime. But anyway, yes, so we've got undercoat on. I'm just working on the top coat, and we've got marks in the wall and fixings sighted for the new shelves that are going to go up, and the coat rack that's going to go up in here as well. So the rail that we had for hanging coats has gone, and will be given away to a relative who said they could make use of it, so that's good, so that didn't get thrown away. And the wood that we're using is some offcuts of stuff that Mark had access to through work, so that's also very useful. We did have to buy new hooks for the coat hook rack itself, but that was a pretty minimal outlay considering all the things that we've managed to reuse and redo. Now, the other thing that we've managed to do is this bed here is a cabin bed. It's got a pull-out table underneath and some little step ladder for getting up, but I was given it second hand when I moved to Nuneaton, so 2007, yeah, 13 years ago. And it's been in, oh, maybe it was maybe 2008, 2009 I think, so only 11 years ago. But yeah, I say it came to me second hand, and then I've had it in 3 different houses. But where we wanted it to go is against this back wall here, and it wasn't quite fitting because of where the radiator and the pipework is at the back. So my other half trimmed it down by a couple of inches. The mattress still fits inside it, but it's because there was a bit of play either end, so now it's a snug fit, but it's still long enough to use, and it fits where we want it to fit, which means it frees up more of the room for actually using and working in for rearranging the other furniture. So that's going to go against this back wall here, and then some of the other furniture will go in around it. Right, well, I only stopped for a biscuit and a brew, so I'd better start on this wall and see how much I can get done before I need to go out and set up for toddlers. Right, bye-bye. Right, so we're now on the 1st of February, and this is where we're at with the rejig of the craft room. So yes, we've got the units in that were in here before, but they've just been moved around, and I'll fill those up with wool hopefully today. We've got the shelving around the top for extra storage space, our wonderful little lamp map of Wales, North Wales, the bed for when people come and stay, that fits just into the gap, which is brilliant. Fabric storage down here. It's already been commandeered for uniform storage. Another shelf just at the top here with seeds for the allotment already. This is the coat rack that we have to replace the rail that was in here. My other half made that, so I'm quite pleased with that. And then we've got the old curtains up that were in here before, but they might get swapped out for some others that we've got in storage, depending on how it all looks when we've got everything else in. So yeah, I just need now to concentrate on filling up that with all the wool, and then somehow boxing up the rest of the crafting stuff to go on the shelves around the top. Wish me luck. Right, we might as well start with the most important bit, the wool stash. So all this to here is all from one shop. That's all locally produced, locally spun wool that was bought from the shop
just up the road from me, but that's now closed. And I've realised I have got a ridiculous amount of sweater quantities of wool. Because behind here, yeah, there's maybe 6 sweater quantities behind there. 7, 8, 9, probably another 3 behind there, so that's 12, 13, 14, yeah, about 15 sweaters worth of wool, which I really do need to make a start on knitting. So that's all 100% pure wool. Probably, yeah, pure British wool. But it all fits within the colour scheme that I said I was going to adopt. So we've got green, cream, red, blue, brown, sort of a goldy yellow or a mustard, and an orange as well. That looks red on screen, but I think that is the orange one. So yes, and below that I've got my sock wool, sort of commercial sock wool stash, and then DK weight random leftovers, plus 1 wayward ball of sock wool. Then cones, mystery cones that I've picked up at various charity shops and what have you. So some of them, like that one, is acrylic, but that one and that one are both cotton. I've got my embroidery cottons down here, along with scraps of sock wool, and behind that I think there's some little tiny scraps of DK weight as well. So on the next shelf I've got my sewing machine, or one of my sewing machines, then my box of needles and some embroidery hoops, and the foot for my sewing machine as well. And then this shelf is all hand spun. So we've got this beautiful mohair, and then some BFL silk, and then some mixed bats that I spun up as well, and a ball of Wensleydale there. And then on this shelf I've got linens and linen cotton blends, and then some mystery boucle yarn at the back, and then this mohair boucle and another recent yarn purchase there, because I think that works up at a sock weight, so that's why it's on a different shelf. Right, around the shelving on the walls we've got sorry, the lovely lamp with a map of North Wales on it, and I need to put a picture in there. And then we've got various different craft boxes up here, so it's not focusing. There's a card making kit, candle making kit, and some rug hooking, some boxes of random bits of fabric. I need to sort all these shelves out because they're just basically a collection of everything that used to be hidden under the bed, but I've now put it up on the shelves. So I think we've got name tapes and thimbles and various different embroidery cottons which could be amalgamated into a different box. Then we've got soap making stuff, buttons, random boxes, natural dye stuff, acrylic paints, might be some oil paints in there as well, embroidery cottons, some fabric paints and essential oils. And then in these two I've got ribbons and trim and embellishments, same in those 3, and then those 2 I've got random bits of fleecing. So I've got my lace making starter kit, my pin loom, hand carders above here, niddy noddy, another weaving loom, random box of crafty bits, a weaving shuttle, straight needles and some natural dye stuff in there. Then on this shelf I've got all my paper patterns. I'll let that focus again. Some homegrown lavender for making lavender bags, my gardening allotment plan notepad, along with seeds for planting need to start planting those soon actually, and plant pot for, because I want to get some more plants in here. I've got them in the conservatory, I just need to pot them on, so I'll fill it up with a bit more green things. And then some various Christmas crafty bits that I need to do something with later on in the year. And then random coats, because it is a multi-purpose room. It is a spare bedroom come craft room come coat room. Here I've got my big pile of unfinished projects that well, most of them dragged out at the beginning of the year. There's children's crafting stuff behind there, Preston North End scarf, as you do, and then a stack of random children's crafty bits there as well. So on the window ledge I've got my smelly candles and my joss sticks and my incense burners. I need to do something to prettify that jar, probably some crochet or a fabric lid or something. And then I've got my threads and cottons in this wooden sewing box. I've had that one since I was in my early teens, because my mum gave it to me, because I think it was hers or my nan's, so she passed it down to me. And then this one, it needs something doing with it because it's water damaged. My other half found this in a charity shop. Oh, sorry. My other half found that in a charity shop not long after we first started going out with each other, and he bought it for me, which you know, sure sign he was a keeper, buying me sewing stuff. Yeah, I've got a wind chime in here as well, which I've just banged into, which is what's making the annoying tinkly noise. Smelly candles, and then this pot's got some eucalyptus leaves in, which were I saved from a bunch of flowers that Mark got me, so they should at some point actually be making their way up into that pile up there with the other natural dye stuff. And then there's the spare bed. Now underneath it's still a mess. There's the ladder comes off, and then there's a pull out desk here, just pull out further, so I can have the laptop on there, and I'll be working on there if I need to, because I've got a folding chair just here. It's not comfortable sitting on for long periods of time, but it tidies away. Now we don't look under there, but this basket here is full of fabric, and then I've got the other sewing machine just down there, so it functions as a multi-purpose room and works quite well, I think, so far. I've just actually been enjoying sitting in here and working. Oh, I haven't showed you this one. So this is where all my fibre to be spun is. Book. Oh. So yeah, all my natural like raw fleeces there, and then some jazzier, more colourful bats there. I've got a couple of fleeces worth of washed fibre under the bed as well, but we don't go into that. So this picture of a woman spinning was rescued from my other half's grand's house when they cleared it out, and I just thought it was lovely, so that hopefully will go on the wall there eventually. But I've got my straight knitting needles, my double points, spindles, including the one I made from random bits of twig when I was walking around Wales, that's still got the fleece that I collected as I was going around the fields, crochet hooks, yarn ball with some crafts that I made for the toddler grouping, collection of scissors, because you can never have enough, and then various different pin cushions. Now this set of stacking dolls or matryoshkas needs decorating, and then they'll go up somewhere in the room. And I have various different Jesus pictures that I would quite like to go on that wall there, but that might be a bit too cluttered for my other half. He might not cope with that level of busyness. So yes, it's not perfect if you like all your surfaces clear and lots of white space in your rooms, but it's cosy, it fits in, and it's a usable room, so I'm happy.